Welcome to the C-Pace Confidential, where you'll hear about the hottest things happening in the world of green financing, climate tech, and beyond. We speak with industry leaders and discover how sustainability has evolved into one of the most important trends in commercial real estate and how you can use it to make your business and your community more successful. Now here's your host, the C-Pace guy, Adam Lipkin.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. Happy holidays. It's been such a special time of the year for so many of us, really just being able to enjoy this holiday season. And I hope you're having a chance to be able to do that. I think it's just, in this hustle culture, in this work, sometimes it's easy to, lose track of being able to just unplug a little bit, enjoy the special people in your life. And at the end of the day, it's frankly what's going to make you best in your work and your business. I mean, if you're not at your best, you're not going to be at your best for others. So I'm just such a big believer in making sure that you're taking care of yourself. And I think a lot of that has to do with making sure that you're enjoying yourself and enjoying the important people in your life. So hope you have a chance to do that throughout this week and really going into this weekend and come back into your week, on Monday, at a level 10, excited. So it's my message. In that regard, I wanted to hear how things are going with you. I wanted to get back out in front of you, share a little bit about what's happening in my world, have a cool resource that I'm going to make available for everybody, just because I still get a lot of questions about C-Pace, of course, being known as the C-Pace guy, but doing so much more than C-Pace. In fact, doing way more outside of C-Pace than C-Pace currently. And, it's just awesome being in Greystone and being in a specialty team that handles a lot of the unique things happening in Greystone. It's great to give a little bit of an overview and perspective about what are some of the things that we could do. I mean, it's so much more than just products. I find that being in this kind of a entrepreneurial environment where we have just such an ability to be flexible and be creative and deploy our balance sheet and really make it so, I mean, frankly, in the chairman's words, so our clients can't say no. And I think that's just so exciting because, we're in this volatile environment where, frankly, a lot of folks have some concerns about, what things are going to look like over the next 3 to 6 months and beyond. And we've seen interest rates rising over the last 30, 60 days, 50, 75 plus basis points, 100 basis points if you go back from earlier in the year. And it's creating a lot of, a lot of angst, a lot of uncertainty. And I think always, inevitably, in times of adversity and times of uncertainty, there's opportunity. Always. There's always an opportunity to step up. And even more so when things aren't always so obvious. And when, the strategies that you've been using to be successful over the last 12 months or last several months, maybe just aren't going to get you to where you need to get going forward. So in that regard, I'm going to focus on my go-to wheelhouse, which is a really interesting strategy I think a lot of you should be thinking about, which is how green financing and a green overall business plan could help be able to, overall improve your project, but also being able to take advantage of green financing and avail yourself of potentially more attractive rates and better pricing, and also of, more proceeds. And so I'm just thinking of some of our core products at Greystone between our FHA HUD program, which has an unbelievable incentive to go green, which could be just a really great angle for so many of you. I mean, you have a benefit of, at the very least, having the MIP, the mortgage insurance premium, drop from 60 basis points to 25. I mean, it's a pretty meaningful dip, which lends itself to just a higher proceed level, as well as just a lower overall monthly and annual payment. And then on top of that, both Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae have really great green programs that typically allow you to, be able to realize 50 to 75% of the projected savings in the form of underwritten income, which leads to higher proceeds. And you also get to avail yourself of the better pricing. So in addition to C-Pace, which is my go-to in a lot of cases, sometimes it's not going to work, but you still should be thinking about, is there a green angle for financing? And I think there, is just definitely going to be benefit in having that top of mind. Not to mention, you're going to be able to, in a lot of cases, lower your utility bill, benefit of operating savings, boost your income, create a better environment, attract better tenants and quality and retention. I mean, there's so many great benefits when you're thinking green. The other thing I'm going to highlight is that there's just so many lenders these days that have as a mandate ESG. You're hearing it over and over. And as far as the E component goes, the environmental, if your project includes a business plan that's going to be doing green upgrades, you're going to go to the top of the pile. You're going to be well received. It's going to be walked in better to credit. And so you're just going to get better attention and engagement overall across the board. That's only going to become a bigger and bigger thing. It's not even going to be just to do it to get these incentives, but it's also to make sure you're not left behind. I mean, all things considered, when you got a bunch of deals in front of a loan officer and you know that there's going to be incentives to focus in on the business plans that are going to have more of a green angle, you probably better make sure that you're aligned with that. So food for thought. Just want to make sure I highlight that. With regards to CPACE, I'm excited that, and I'm frankly a believer still, and I just posted about this, that over the next several years, you're just going to continue to see more and more lending products be friendly to it. You're going to see that from construction products to bridge products to perm products. And I love the fact that Greystone is such a leader in so many categories. We have just best HUD program in the country for years as the #1 HUD provider, top agency provider for both Freddie and Fannie, top CMBS provider, have a robust bridge program that's only getting to another level right now. And incredible to see what's going to be happening with that, especially with so many debt funds that have been providing bridge financing. That's probably going to be, a little problematic over the next year or two when it comes to takeout with where rates have been moving in the permanent markets. I mean, we want to be there to be able to step in and help our clients out, to help provide the type of capital needed to be able to get out of that bridge loan. So I think that's going to be an exciting program. I'm so excited about just having joined this group within Greystone that handles all the construction financing, and that we wrote out this just amazing balance sheet construction program last year. And what I'm hopeful for is that we're going to be a leader in PACE-friendly construction financing and having those great projects. Ideally, it's going to be your multifamily borrowers that have a track record, and we're going to see an opportunity to permit PACE. And so in that regard, I want to be able to answer some questions on an ongoing basis. A lot of folks ping me on LinkedIn, reach out, asking me about CPACE in and out of Greystone. And so I created a resource that I'm going to make available, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up for it. It's this little puppy right here. And so this is a site that I created. It's called cpacefinancing.com. Very obvious, very easy to remember. And I'm just going to go over some of it right now. But at a high level, you got your basic landing page. And, more than anything, I just have like a frequently asked questions section, where you're going to be able to get into everything from the basics. What is CPACE? We're going to be talking about things that are going to include what are the benefits from it? What are the issues that come up around lender consent questions? How are lenders looking at it? But ultimately, I want to be able to provide this as a resource. I'm going to be posting not just content when it comes to text and frequently asked questions, but also videos from interviews I've done with other folks in the industry, what they're getting done with CPACE and other types of green financing, what's happening in general in the industry. And I'm going to post it all on this page. I'm going to make it available here as an ongoing resource. And I certainly want to hear from all of you, like what kind of questions are coming up that you're seeing. And I want this to be something that is valuable and worthwhile for you. So constantly, as there's going to be things coming up from folks I know in the industry, you say, hey, Adam, I think this is like a good topic to be able to cover, whether it be, what's the latest when it comes to certain markets and their availability for CPACE, what are the types of projects that are a really good fit at the particular moment, how people are using it, case studies, all of it's going on here. So remember this site, cpacefinancing.com. Keep it in mind. And I hope it's valuable for you guys. I hope it's something that you, reference on a regular basis. And then certainly if you do have any specific projects and you're looking to see if there's a CPACE angle, ping me on it. You could go to our page also, and you could fill out some basic information about, just a little bit around projects, the size, what kind of type of asset it is, and you could be able to see if there might be a play for CPACE. What I love about being in the position I'm in right now in Greystone is I'm not limited to CPACE. We basically have all the solutions the company offers, all the balance sheet products, which are just, best in class. And to the extent that I could work CPACE in, I'm going to do my best to. I'm the best position to do that. But, oftentimes there's just not going to be an angle. And so to be able to also have just incredible off-balance sheet solutions that could be alternatives, I find that options give you best execution. One of the biggest frustrations I had, is in only doing CPACE, frankly, is that you had one limited tool that in a number of cases might just not work under the terms you needed. Oftentimes you might not be able to get the right lender that was going to be able to stretch the leverage request needed or do it in a pricing range that was going to be able to support your business plan. And so rather than just saying, hey, sorry, I can't do something, I love having other options, in addition to CPACE, whether it be a CPACE friendly lender that's going to fit and make it work the way you want, or having an alternative to it. I think it's just so important to be able to have options. Options give you the ability to execute. I'm a big believer in that. So check out the site. I'm going to be getting some interviews going again with folks in the industry. We're going to be covering lots of topics around green financing. We're going to be talking about what's happening in the world of climate tech. You're just hearing more and more about just incredible technology that's going into buildings to be able to reduce carbon emissions, which is another key component. In addition to creating energy efficiency, we're also being, incredibly mindful on emissions. And I think that's just only going to become a bigger thing front and center. I'm just seeing more and more lenders that are scrutinizing in due diligence. What is the building doing when it comes to ESG, and especially when it comes to emissions? There's just more and more municipalities that are having mandates that require certain standardization. In New York City, a lot of us are familiar with Local Law 97. I think that's only going to continue. And so when you have this pressure from the municipalities and, the regulatory side, of your particular jurisdictions, when you have the lending community looking for what you're doing with regards to green and environmental friendly types of measures, when you have your tenants and the folks that want to occupy your buildings, whether it be on residential side, tenants that want to be in net zero buildings or buildings that are economically and also environmentally friendly, or even on the commercial side, a lot of tenants, especially the tech tenants, but generally you're seeing this as a real theme, wanting to be in buildings that are on the right side of clean energy. So it's not going anywhere. There's good incentives to be able to make it economically worthwhile and be able to, have it even boost your bottom line, but also to really be able to set you up for the long run for success. So I want to be able to highlight that. Make sure you don't follow, don't forget about that site, cpacefinancing.com. I hope to hear from you. I feel like a lot of folks are just interested in what's happening in the market. I've been putting out, kind of like an update on rates, specifically HUD and Freddie Fannie rates, just in terms of like what we're seeing directly, and also just in the market, what we're doing. We're in the market with just a number of mandates. We're hearing what's the latest on the debt fund side, what's happening on construction. And so I think it would be just really worthwhile. Let's talk. Let's get an update on how things are going on your end. So many just exciting ways to be able to help out. I just really like being in that position where there's just a lot of flexibility. I find that it's more than anything something where, depending on whatever circumstance you're dealing with, I love being in a position where really being able to have creative solutions is just something that's now available. So I love that. Anyways, I hope you guys have a really special, enjoyable weekend. I wish you the best. I look forward to talking to you soon, and happy Friday. Take care.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the CPACE Confidential. Give this episode a like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Got a question? Connect with Adam at adamlinkedin.com. We'll see you on the next episode.